level Protoss player. He has so much experience in finals. He played against Classic in the GSL finals. He did lose. He is 5-1. All the stats back him up. He's been playing super, super well these days. And I definitely favor this guy going into this one.
5-1 versus Protoss is very hard to ignore. Triple-time GSL finalist. Triple-time loser, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he only was defeated by his teammate this time. herO with a smile on his face. It's that confidence that I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
You know, when you go for a prediction, when you go looking into a match, trying to analyze what's happened, you can look at stats all you want. I mean, yeah, 5-1's better than a 5-3, and plus, he's got 3 losses in a row off his last 3 games. Well, those are against very tough opponents. I look at this and I say, these two players are so evenly matched skill-wise. The confidence is where I give them the edge. Definitely going to be a close match. Could go either way.
It's fair to say.
The momentum is also in SKT's favor right now.
Yep, that is true as well. herO looking slightly nervous as he does before all matches. I don't think it's going to affect his play much.
Don't think so. Let's see how pissed soO gets here in game number 2. SKT versus Sejong here at the Pro League playoffs.
Up here on the top left in the orange for SK Telecom, it's soO.
And to the bottom right in yellow for Sejong, it's herO. Not sure why there was a laugh there on the crowd. I'm not sure what happened there. So anyways, we're going to see what sort of builds come out here in a second. And, you know, I actually don't know how soO wants to play this one, because this is a map where the Zerg plays for the late game oftentimes. soO's really known for his really good meterless switches, oftentimes his solid mid-game swarm hosts. But herO is so hard to predict because he's really good at suddenly throwing you off in a best-of series with an all-in, a timing, some sort of aggressive play. But he also normally plays for the late game. He's very similar to soO in that regard in this matchup, especially for the map. So it really could go either way.
Yeah. Also likes Stargate units. Wouldn't be surprised to see an expansion into Stargate out of him, especially on the map. Very popular.
Australia says hello. And that's a really cool shirt, by the way. Well, both of them. I actually didn't see the data. Where can you find the pizza? Well, I'll tell you. It may now come to the studio because you have summoned it. It could happen.
Yeah, that actually is very possible.
But otherwise, I recommend. Going for. This is a really sneaky build, by the way. But anyways, back to the pizza, because this is what's really important. Look up Brick Oven Pizza. It's in Gangnam. If you go out exit 11, you Google that. You can probably find some really good pizza. I've gone there several times. You probably, if you're going to stay in this, you might not be able to make it. It might be closed. Who knows? Because it's definitely going to Game 7. But yeah. So what we have here. Pizza aside, is actually a hatchery placed at the third base first, in order to throw his opponent off, and it looks like he is going to go double hatch before pool. But this is a new spin on how to deal with this, because the probe, you know, would have come here if it were a fast probe scout with a forge, seen no hatchery, and known not to cannon. Would probably not have gone to check the third base.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what this build is about. I mean, the probe's going to be able to come in here and see no pool, and he's going to be like, okay, you drop the third first. But like you said,
by the time the probe goes, after he sees no hatch, by the time he goes in the main here and sees there's no pool, he can't cannon the third base. It's too far. It's probably not going to work. One drone will probably tag the probe and make sure he can't do any sort of wall. And it's just a cool meta, sneaky thing to do. Cybernetics core comes down here. And how accurate, Sejong, is the translation of what Cybernetics core is in Korean?
It's actually like 100% accurate, I think.
What does it directly translate to? Like,
yeah, I think so, right? It is.
Is Chaosol a core?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, cybernetics is not ingung. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is, I guess.
I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
No, it is.
Okay.
It's a really good translation.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No problem. Thanks for tag teaming that with me, because I was always curious about that. What about Sejong for probe?
Probe. Yeah, I think so. What's probe?
A probe is...
I know what it is. It is the correct translation, I think.
Okay.
Sejong.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, as always, Sejong, for that translation.
This was Sejong. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
So we have a sentry popping out, and uh-oh, herO's doing it. The Robo,
Yeah.
and no scouts nearby for this. I mean, he's got an Overlord there. Will he sack it? Will he try to come over and see?
I don't think he will have to sack it, actually.
Well,
He
yeah,
could
not
just
sack
go
it, but
over
like,
there.
you know.
Yeah, it's funny the position on that. I feel like if he was trying to hide it, he would have put it in the main base, but it's right at the ramp. So
Yeah, he just has to brave the tickle stick of that sentry.
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, well, his Lings are going to see it anyways. Whoa. Oh, how many people? It's like it looks like a survey with a bunch of stars. I thought it was somebody's cheerful. I'm like, wow, this is really detailed.
yeah.
It's just a bunch of stars indicating whether or not yes or no to the questions.
So he sees the Robo, and it's actually a Warp Prison. And the funny thing about this is that soO's going to know this is coming way beforehand, and all he has to do, if it is a sentry drop in the main, is just keep some units in the main, and he should be totally fine.
Well, keep in mind, he sees the 3 sentries, he's seeing the Robo, so he should be okay against this. We've seen this build on this map a lot. We've also seen fast drops on this map in general because the base, the natural, is just so far, so easy to access directly across the map. There's dead airspace behind it, so it's easy to escape and run away against Queens. Any sort of anti-air units, really. Even Marines or Hydras, God forbid. But
look at this.
Wow.
The follow-up is 2 Stargates, so he's going to kind of put soO on the back foot here with this drop, force him to build units. And
this is actually the type of build I was expecting to see. If you're this confident, if you're really picking this map against SKT, you're saying, I've got something really special coming out here. And it's complex. Let's see if it works. The sentry drop, well, at the very least, matters some probes here, or drones rather. And let's see how many kills he gets. Does trap, it looks like about 6 or 7 there. And we'll target a few of those down and then lift out.
yeah.
Zealots.
Get some kills. I want to see the actual count.
Yeah, I think he got 3 maybe. 2 or 3. Void Ray on the way.
Just one.
Only 1, wow.
Yeah, it really didn't look like that much, so.
Yeah, I only saw 1 confirmed, but I figured the other ones just kind of got blocked or something.
Well, just 1 kill with that harass. He does lose two Zealots as well in that push, so not sure how efficient that drop was.
He really did block a lot of those harvesters, though, as well. I don't know if it was really efficient, but it was okay. And he forced some units, which are now going to go for an attack, which should be easily shut down by these Void Rays. Let's see if soO actually really commits to the attack, because he might have been thinking, might have been making these units feeling like it was going to be an Immortal push. Didn't end up being that way.
Yeah. War President coming back here, just trying to, affect soO's multitasking, but he should be totally fine as long as he keeps his units underneath that, and it's not going to do much damage. We see 2 Void Rays coming out at a time, and the robotics bay coming up here. So we're going to see this big Deathball style. Lots of Void Rays, lots of Colossi, and he's just going to get these 3 bases up and protect it, and probably go for a push once he hits 200.
The safety of this build is really in its Stargates, because when you have the Void Rays out, you can defend early pushes. Good scout here is so important to see this. But you have the Stargate out, so then you're like, okay, can't really attack by ground as if I'm in the Zerg. Also, Swarm Hosts with the Colossi coming out and the Void Rays this early, a bit tough to execute. Do I want to go Mutas here? Probably not, because he can switch to double Phoenix production with those Stargates at any time. It's really awkward, and it's hard to build a good composition here. He may actually try to go down the Corruptor route here. If he goes Mutas, he's taking a big chance. He has to hide them, and he has to make them do a lot before the Phoenix switch happens, which is so hard to do when you got Phoenixes flying all over the map like this. He's making a bunch of Overlords. He could actually just go mass Corruptor, but I really just think it's too late for that.
Yeah.
I need my Moon G for this one on the analysis. I would say probably he's going to try to go Mutas, but I just don't know how effective that's going to be.
He's saving up a lot of gas. His Spire did finish a little bit ago, like maybe 30 seconds, so he's not making it right away. And he just have that +1 air coming out here, so.
herO already knows what's up. And he's starting a Fleet Beacon and a 3rd Stargate for safety here. +1 is on the way for air. He wants it to be a big Muta surprise, but he keeps checking with his Phoenixes, and he's like, You're literally just not making anything. And also, you don't have an infestation pit. It has to be a Mutalisk switch here. If you were going to make Corruptors, you would have needed to start making them already. And making Corruptors against my 6 Void Rays, go ahead. He already knows it's going to be Mutas, and before the Mutas are even started, he's going into cannons, he's got a 3rd Stargate, and he's getting Phoenixes, now even Blink.
He's literally getting everything you would want from Mutas right now. You know, outside of Storm.
Exactly.
In what he has right now in his tech, he's making everything he could actually want. The one thing that soO does have right now is 5 bases. He's getting those bases up really, really quickly. He knows that the Protoss is going for a big death ball kind of style, and he's getting that economy really, really greedily, and he's going to be totally fine. He's going to be safe as long as he can defend this.
The Mothership Core is lagging behind a little bit, and there are a lot of Mutalisks popping. Here we go. He targets down the hatchery. No Queens for the defense, and he needs to recall. He cannot have it. Meanwhile, another counterattack over here. Going to pick off some of the Zealots.
Yeah, getting a good surround on a lot of these Zealots, and I feel like with the cannons and the sentries, it should be fine. Just got to back off there. But here are the Mutas. There's not many Phoenixes out just yet.
Yeah, he's going to have to use the Void Rays to help defend as well. But it should be enough. Corruptor production now has started because he's going to need Corruptors with his Mutalisk Ball to help deal with the Phoenixes if they fight, you know, away from the Nexus. He's going to absolutely require those. Anion Pulse Crystals, Blink, +1 for the Phoenixes all on the way as well. This is now a battle of the air. Who can control it and who's going to take the better trades?
Yes. Muta's trying to catch some of these Phoenixes off. They do get a decent shot off. Just keeping their distance. Good micro out of soO here. I would say not getting too close.
And he's just got to be so careful how he does this. Without Anion Pulse Crystals, you cannot afford to get near those Corruptors.
Yeah.
You can't link on them until the crystals are ready. Now he's got them. And now how this is going to work is if he can actually fight the Corruptors one by one, he can start to pick them off.
Yeah.
Because all the Phoenixes will link lasers, and they can fire while moving. This is actually crazy, this army that's coming out here, too. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He loses the potential to warp in here with that Warp Prism's death.
And soO is just going for a counterattack at the same time. He knows that this Protoss army has to stay together, and that one Zealot is not going to be enough to hold that wall. The Zerglings get through. The Nexus Cannon does go off. You may be able to go to that 3rd base, but there is some nice defense there as well, so he's just going to back off. Again, he's just delaying this Protoss push as much as possible.
Exactly. That's exactly what he wants. He wants the Protoss army to turn around. He wants to waste the Mothership Core energy. And oh no, now he's actually forced to fight. Well, the Phoenixes are away. A great move here by soO. But here come the Phoenixes now, and he's actually going to fight underneath these Void Rays. A lot of them eliminated early. He needs more Stalkers. They're being warped in right now. That Colossus is being targeted down by Zerglings. Does get some damage done before that. Are there enough Stalkers on the ground? I think there may be here to actually fight this.
He blinks underneath all of the Zerg Air Army, and the Air Army is going to go down.
10 more Mutas on the way, but it's not enough. There's too many Stalkers and there's too many Phoenixes. But what is he going to make instead? Can he really afford to make Roaches right now? I don't think so. This is a really tough spot now for soO. He's almost certainly going to lose this base and perhaps another base as well. Such a scary Protoss army walking across the map right now.
Yeah, reinforces with Zealots as well because he knows the follow-up here is Zerglings, so he's going to have so many of these Zealots in the front to tank. He could just back off of this main middle base here, the 5th base, and just go straight to that 4th base, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Warps in more and more units, and this Protoss Death Ball is getting gigantic once again.
Yep. Moving forward here, and I mean, this is just so many Zerglings, but Zerglings versus the Stalkers that have a wall with that force field, plus the fact that they can't get a surround, they can't get surface area. It's really tough for him, but he's trying to break through here. The Stalker micro is good. So many Zealots to tank, though, at the front, and it looks like he's going to push it back. Phoenixes and Stalkers way too much for this Air Army, and now the Protoss has the massive advantage here. Will kill this 4th base and likely end the game.
He's going to get it, and the Zerg units are pouring out here, but it's not grouped up. The Protoss army is way grouped up. There's a huge amount of Stalkers, and there's not nearly enough Zerglings in the world to hold this off right now.
Definitely not. Way too much here on the ground, and that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the end of game number 2. herO can't believe it. GG. There's that smile.
Looking really, really happy after that win, and he deserves it, man. What a cool build.
I was actually more confident about this prediction in him than any other prediction I made today. Really, I just felt we're going to see something special, and my dream came true.
Yeah,
we really saw something special.
You were right for the first game as well. You predicted Dark. I actually predicted Bunny as well as soO. So I'm 0 for 2, and you're 2 for 2.
I'm on point today.
Yeah. But that's a really big win here for CJ. They needed that win. They needed to have herO win. He is one of the CJ heroes, him and Jung being the 2. and it's going to keep him in this matchup. Definitely a lot of SK Telecom fans here. We saw a bit of a groan from the crowd, actually, as that fight went on. And soO was going down. soO definitely, I feel like, the fan favorite, but a win's a win here for CJ.
Yeah, definitely a win's a win, man. Really solid play. That was really, really impressive. And that's the kind of play that CJ needs today to take a win here. Especially going into their next two matchups are going to be really difficult. We're going to go into Sulky versus Hydra on Habitation Station, and then Classic versus Young. Two matchups where if CJ can hang on and get through there, they get to have Hush versus Rain. Hush's Protoss versus Protoss is amazing. Went 4-0 in Code A and PvP. He's 5-1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in Pro League in that matchup as well. And then they have effort to back them up. At the in versus party is going to be tough, but at least having that Hush PvP is really, really important.
Actually, 4-0 for Hush.
Is that including playoffs as well?
No, just...
Okay.